Here's one of those products that you don't hear a lot about, but it's when I used to take it out, I mean, it sold immediately. It was a company called Shep, SHEP, and they made the SN8s, which were Neve 1073 clones, but they had an extra band in the EQ. And those things just sounded, fantastic. So anybody who wanted that Neve sound, and this was like in the late 90s, I got involved with Shep. The only thing about this guy, I forgot the guy's name. It was an elderly person in England. Every time he would send me a rack of Sheps or the units, they weren't done. So I would have to get our techs to go through them. I mean, literally, things weren't soldered together. They'd have to figure out what wasn't finished, and then he'd fix it. And when I got them running, and I would take them out for demos, I mean, they weren't cheap. Like a rack of 8, I think it was something like $25,000 or so. But people that had the money for them just loved them. I sold a rack of them to Bon Jovi, and I'll tell you why probably in the next video. He wanted to buy a Neve console, and the deal fell through, and he bought an SSL, and the compromise was buy a rack of Sheps, and that would work. So the SN8s, I don't know if the company's still in business anymore, but I remember having bought a rack of 8 for myself, and Serban asked me if he could borrow them. He was in a house in Malibu, and they were recording. I forgot who the band was, but he asked me, could I borrow them? I said, yeah, sure. So I shipped them out to him, no charge. I FedExed them out to him. And when they got out there, he called me up and he was like, oh, we got some bad news. I go, what happened? He said, well, FedEx dropped them off the plane. I mean, literally from the plane, fell off the conveyor belt, the whole, and they were in a floating case, and that got destroyed. So everything got destroyed. So good thing I had them insured. But FedEx just didn't want to pay up. It took some doing, but they paid me the full $25,000 for those units. But they're really nice. The Shep SN8s. I'll see if I can find some pictures and post them for you guys to see.